Hello everyone, I'm Grandmaster Priyadharshan Kannappan and you're watching Chess Gyaan series of checkmates in chess. And today's episode is going to be on the electric E2 square, which basically means we're going to be looking at checkmates that has happened on the E2 square on the chessboard. So before we go into the current subject topic, as you would know, in every previous episode, we give kind of like a homework question or some sort of a puzzle that you could solve. And the previous episode was about the checkmate on the F2 square. So this was the position that I had given at the end of the video in the previous episode, and I wanted to reveal the solution, and I do hope many of you had thought about it and kind of, figured out the answer by now. So the solution here is it's first of all it's black to play. So black started with the most obvious forcing move, which is capturing the pawn, and it's also a check. So it's a check and a capture. So it's like a really strong forcing move. So white has only one move, which is king to h5, and then black follows it up with another check and a forcing move. I mean, there are quite a few good options here for black, I would say. Like, for example, rook g5 is an option because that would force the king to go to h6 and so on, or even bishop g6 check and the king goes to g4. Instead, black decides to give a different check, which is knight f4, and the point of it being if king h6, it's rook g6 and it's a checkmate. And instead, white desired to go king h4, and now I believe you would have understood why we had mentioned f2 is the checkmate square on the previous video, as here black goes bishop f2 and it's a checkmate. So now let's move on to the E2 square checkmate examples that I have prepared for this video. So let's look at the first position that we have here. It's a very simple position, I would say. It's like if you look at it, white's king is stuck on the center and white has an extra two pawns. But the king being stuck on e1 is a big problem for white, and black exploits this beautifully. I would highly suggest you to pause the video and try to figure out what is that beautiful variation or move that black played here. And once you're confident that, this is what I believe is the right move, then you can continue watching this video. So let me reveal now the big move that black played. Black played bishop c3, very strong, exploiting this pin, and now is kind of adding another pin because white cannot capture queen d3 because now there's a pin, right? And for bishop c3, white is basically forced to capture queen takes c3, not really much that he could do. And here, if black wants, he could capture queen takes c3 and have an extra queen. But why do you want a queen when you can checkmate the opponent with queen takes e2? And this is how this game ended. Really nice combination, right? So let's move on to the next example that I have prepared. So this position is black to play, and I think this is a very kind of a straightforward answer. And as you would have known by now, more or less all the positions that we see in this series can be solved if you continuously spot good forcing moves. And forcing moves are checks, captures, and threats, and to some extent pawn breaks. So here, let's look at the most forcing check that black has, which is rook e2 check. And after white goes king c1, I hope you have all spotted the checkmate by now, because after rook e2, white cannot go king b3 because this pawn is controlling the escape square of b3. So after king c1, black goes rook e1 check, and after king d2, black brings his rook on 8th rank to e2, and now the king can't go anywhere and the king is under a check, so it's game over. So this is how black won this game. So now let's move on to the next example that I have prepared. So this position is black to play. Black definitely has the material advantage as black has a knight and white only has a pawn in exchange. But the bigger problem for white actually here is that this, white's king is on f2 and black's king is on e4, and the e4 king is actually playing a very dominating role. And white has some tricks up his sleeve. Like, for example, he's hoping to give maybe rook e8 check if black is careless, or try to go a7 8 and make a promotion to a queen. But black has calculated everything out and black goes rook b2 check, pushing the white king to the first rank. And what does that mean? And if the king is pushed to the first rank, that does mean itself the king may have very limited escape squares or exit routes. So here in the game, white went king e1. In case if white had gone king g1, black would have walked with his king to f3 and further kind of, increase the pressure on the white king. And after h3, give a check with rook b1. And after king h2, the escape square that was created thanks to h3. But it's not really of big help because there's knight f1 check. And after king g1, there's knight takes g3. And after king h2, because there's a check, after king h2, it's rook h1, and it is a checkmate. A very brilliant combination of the king, knight, and the black rook, black king, black knight, and the black rook working together to deliver a forcing checkmate. So in the game, after rook b2, white went king e1. But this doesn't really change much because if you look at it, the white king really does not have any escape square because all these two squares are controlled by the black knight, and the black rook is controlling the second rank. So now black just goes king f3. And here now the big idea is, I'm pretty sure you have figured it out by now, it's rook e2, checkmate is coming up. White can go rook d2 if he wants to block the checkmate, but that would lead to rook d1 check. And after rook d1, you just simply capture the rook and it's checkmate. So instead in the game, white went rook d1, and that allowed black to simply go rook e2 and deliver the checkmate. So how about now let's move on to the next example that I have here. So this is the position that I'm planning to give to you all as homework. An important thing to remember is it's white to play, and again, focus on the forcing moves. You will definitely get the idea, and keep an eye on this square because this is the square where you want to place a piece and checkmate the opponent's king. And if you do look at it, white has a huge material advantage. White has an extra rook. So white can even simply win the game by, playing it slow and, using the extra material. But white finds a forcing move and a very flashy way to win, I would say. And it works. I mean, if the flashy way to work, it's not bad. If it's like kind of works for sure, you're confident of it making work. So I'll leave this position to you as homework. Try to solve it, put it on the comment box. If you think you have found the solution, we'll definitely discuss it in the next video that I'll be coming up with. So here signing off is Grandmaster Priyadharshan Kannappan. Please subscribe to the channel, press on the bell icon so that you can get instant notifications. And if you have any comments about this video or in general about the channel or ideas that you would like to see as videos that we do on the channel, please do share your ideas. And I'll see you all soon in a different video. Signing off, Grandmaster Priyadarshan. Bye bye, everyone.